Hey y'all, this Sharita Washington with part 2 of my book, Because of God, My Testimony. I was 2 years old in 1976 when my mom left to go to the Army. I just want to add, y'all, that I didn't even know my mom left when I was 2 years old. I knew when I was young, I don't remember the years, I know I was young when I used to go visit my mom in different states. That I was young, but I still didn't know she left when I was a baby. And I used to hear chatter. I don't remember who said it, but I used to hear her mama didn't want her anyway. So when my mom told me I was 2 years old when she left, because that's how I was able to get the years, because, you know, a lot of my years may not be perfect, but I wanted a good start on how to start my book. So I just wanted to get some good estimates. So when she told me that it was probably around 1976, because I was born in 1974, that hurt me, and it explained my abandoned wounds more. Because this is going to be about too, if you can, how to heal your inner childhood wounds. Mine started at 2 years old. But however, I just wanted to get that out. I learned to travel on airplanes. Okay, y'all, I messed around and touched the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm going to get this together. And it went all the way to the bottom. Okay. I learned to travel on airplanes at a very young age. It was scary and exciting at the same time. Laugh out loud. Guess I didn't really know any better. That's something else an editor told me I shouldn't add. It's probably a lot I should add, but at the time, hey, this is what I felt. This is what I did. I know full-grown people personally that you couldn't pay to get on an airplane. I actually remember one particular time when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I suppose, around 1980, 1982, my mom sent for me to come to Italy. I was raised by my mom's mother, Lemira Faulkner, a.k.a. Madia. She was a 5th grade school teacher at Bahia Junior High in Bahia, Mississippi, where I'm from. She didn't play at all. I was also a shared custody baby. I was raised by my father, R.B. Washington, a.k.a. Red Dog. He's a mechanic from around the way in a small town known by many, and known for going for rides in whomever car he's fixing, even to this day. Accompanied by his mother, Annie Seal Washington, my grandmother. I call her Mom. The nicest lady in the world, but laugh out loud, she doesn't play either. But you gotta push the right buttons to activate her. I pushed all my grandma buttons. A lot of people don't know that side of Annie, but yeah. Okay. The nicest lady in the world. Hold on, y'all. Okay, and I also just recently found out last Christmas, December 2025, 2023, this is when I found out that my Aunt Shirley Jean Washington, the picture lady, loves to take pictures. If you know her, you know. She also had a very big hand in raising me. I didn't know that, y'all. Because, like, as a little girl when I was growing up, it used to be this photo album I was always looking at, because it would be pictures of my mom in there. Because, you know, me growing up, my mom wasn't around me all the time. So I would always look in that photo album to reminisce and look at my mom, how she looked when she was young. My mama was a baddie. So, but at the time, when I was a little girl in that book, I used to be dressed so nice, hair comb so pretty. I hate we don't have that album now. And When I was told that, it made me think back, wow, yeah, because my mom was in the army, so it was my aunt that had me so cute. Because I used to love looking at that too. My aunt had me so cute. And I didn't know, it never dawned on me that it was my aunt had me like that until they told me that. However, back to the story, y'all. Okay, Shirley Jean, the picture lady. And raising me. I was so young when my mom left. When I used to see, I ain't even have to tell that part. I got it in here a little light. I haven't read over this book in a while, y'all. So forgive me if we have to double hear the story. I'm kind of excited too. So, but you gotta, okay, push up. Okay. When I used to see pictures of me as a baby with nice clothes and hair always gone, it hit me that my aunt used to have me so pretty and put together. I didn't say it that day, but I'm saying it now. I love and thank you for that. I used to look at those pictures album all the time when I was growing up. I used to be proud of how pretty and happy I looked. Y'all, it did it again. I'm sorry. I'm reading this off my tablet. I guess I probably should have went and got it printed out. I gotta go back up. Now, we ain't finna go through this through all these parts. We gonna get it together after part 1, okay? But I'm saying it now. I love it. Thank you for that. I used to look at those picture albums all the time when I was growing up. I used to be proud of how pretty and happy I looked. Also, I can't leave out the #1 stunt of my stepmom, Betty Jean Washington. I'm telling you all, this lady can build a house, turn around, and decorate it for you, cook your dinner, and set the table. God bless that lady with many talents. And if you know her, you know. So I remember being 8 years old on this airplane. I also remember my grandmother and dad not being too happy about me flying by myself. My grandma Annie, aka Seal, still bring this up to this day. She said, girl, you wasn't scared of anything. So that let y'all know that situation caused a lot of ruckus amongst the family. I remember sitting next to a Caucasian man, so nice. He gave me candy. I remember telling him so proudly, I'm going to Italy to see my mom, Beverly Jean Faulkner. Have you figured it out yet? Jean must have been a popular name back then in those days. I also remember having the best Christmas of my life in Italy. I got my first bike when I was in Italy with the long seat. You know, back then we had the long seat. It was red and so pretty. I also remember getting a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll. I love those dolls, amongst a million other things. I was spoiled at Christmas. My eyes lit up with excitement. I remember eating, before I get to that part, what was so special about that Christmas, y'all? My mom didn't have a tree up or anything. And when I woke up that morning, man, I had a tree, and I'm talking about the biggest Christmas ever. It was toys everywhere. So, and I'm going to bring something else up. Not too long ago, I had already wrote the book. I didn't know this. Me and my daughter was just talking about Christmas and the children. Like, some children not even able to get anything. And she brought up that time, because my mom raised my daughter. She lived with her. And she brought up that time when my mama did the same thing to her. And that just was a Christmas she'll never forget. How she woke up with just, went to bed with nothing, but woke up with, man, it was awesome. And I thought that was so sweet that me and my daughter share the same story. But we just not finding out about it. That was so sweet of my mom. Okay, I tried to have my finger where I was stopped at. Okay, but we knew how. Okay. I'm sorry. It was red. And so, but I remember getting a red land on it. Okay. I remember eating the best grilled cheese sandwich ever there in Italy. Cheese you can't even find in the United States. That's the truth. I remember having friends that I couldn't even understand anything they said. But we knew how to ride bikes. That's all mattered. That's the truth, y'all. I did learn how to say thank you, gracias, after my long visit with my mother. I came back home to Muddeer. We already lived in a small town, but my mother lived on Walsall Road. Across from the road is called St. Paul Road. As an adult, city people would ask me, why do you say road? Back then it was gravel roads, rocks. We from the country, baby. I can't lie. I hated living over there. If it wasn't for my Aunt Paulette Anthony, aka Let, very sweet lady, she used to hot comb my hair. It looked like I had a perm. One of my mom's sisters, and my late Uncle Perry, and my cousin Tabby and Renee Anthony. They are sister and brothers. Editor also told me I didn't have to do all that, but however, y'all, this is it. I haven't got to edit. Maybe all that won't be in the book when I do get to edit. My Aunt Let and Uncle Perry was high school sweethearts. My Uncle Perry was a role model of how a real man is supposed to protect and provide for his family. My Uncle Perry was the reason I know about Broadway Pizza. He used to take us to Memphis, Tennessee to eat there. By us being from Mississippi with dark gravel roads, no street lights, as a matter of fact, Bahia only had one stoplight because it's such a small town, still to this day. So as a kid going to Memphis, Tennessee, I thought I was going somewhere extravagant with the big city lights and pavement streets. We had a lot of good memories together, but they live, I guess, would be considered 2 blocks away from Muddeer house on the hill. Because my Muddeer lived on the hill, my aunt and Aunt Perry lived like right under the hill. I was only a child. I was the only child by my mom. So I learned to play by myself a lot. I used to miss my mom a lot. Every time I saw or heard an airplane, I would hope and wish it was her. It made me very sad to see airplanes back then. We didn't have cell phones. So I would sit in my window, in my room, or wherever I would be standing at the time and watch airplanes fly by until... Why did my computer juice do that? Now I didn't touch it that time. I was sitting in my coffee. I'm sorry. Where I'm at, y'all. Hold on. Every time I heard an airplane, I would hope and wish it was her. It made me very sad to see airplanes. Back then, we didn't have cell phones, so I would sit in my window, in my room, or wherever I would be standing at the time and watch airplanes fly by until it was out of sight, hoping she was on her way to come and see me. I sat in our car feeling sorry. Oh, Lord, that is not where I'm at. But I was very... I traveled a lot to visit my mom. I remember being stationed in Alabama with my mom. I forgot the lady's name and her 2 kids, a boy and a girl. But I was a very, very picky eater. But I've gotten better as an adult. This lady would cook us ravioli. I hated how that food looked, all red and thick. So she would fix me a bologna sandwich. My mom, after picking me up every day, would ask me, what you eat? You know, being a mom, so every day I'm eating sandwiches. My mom went off on that lady because she thought the lady was trying to feed me just sandwiches every day. I sat in our car feeling sorry for that lady because I didn't take up for her. Laugh out loud. I didn't know how. My mom didn't play either. It was above me now. At that young age, I didn't know I was a picky eater. I knew I didn't like to eat different foods. I got that lady in trouble, and my mom didn't take me back because of that. Shaking my head. I remember being stationed in Atlanta. I used to live in Atlanta with my mom. We lived in some apartments on Peachtree. I don't remember the name of the apartments, but they had a pool. I do recall my mom paying for my swimming lessons at this place right across the street from my apartments. I had the best 11th birthday swimming party. First and last time I did a belly flop. I never learned how to dive because of that. Never. I'm still traumatized. Laugh out loud. I still had fun. My mind was made up as a child to never try to dive again, and I haven't. I got another babysitter in trouble, y'all. She took me to the mall on the bus to see the first Poltergeist movie. Poltergeist, whatever it was. I like to watch horror film. A horror film. The best one. I still love horror movies to this day. She was a teenager and she was trying to see her little boyfriend. My grown-tail self went back home on the bus by myself. My mom was so angry at her for losing me. But she didn't. I just left the girl. I got that lady in trouble. I was too smart for my own good. I love ATL. My second cousin, L.B. Richmond, and his wife lived in ATL all my life. And my cousin, Shirley Richmond, lived with them, and she visited on and off. She used to keep my hair braided so pretty, and she still is so sweet. We had fun. If you could ask her today what was my favorite song then, she would tell you Ebony and Ivory by Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. I played that song 100 times a day on my blue record player. When she sees me, she still brings it up. I always had a love for music, and I knew I wanted to be a model. I have a lot of good memories traveling with my mom. It wasn't always bad. Now I'm back in Wausau, Bahia, Mississippi. But I would visit my dad and stepmom a lot of times too. My grandmother still would keep me for him. It's not a child in this world that didn't love my grandmother Sia. I was spoiled. On my dad's side, I grew up with my cousin Chavez Anthony, aka Vez. My cousin is a good guy and I always have been. And Edwin Washington, aka Spina, aka Big Quack. A lot of his friends called him Big Quack because when he was younger, he wouldn't drink anything but beer in a quart. So, something popping up. Move out the way, Big Quack, because when... Okay, one thing about my cousin Spina, he was popular. All the guys in the neighborhood would pile up in his room to play the game Atari. There was the PS5 back in those days. Or on his basketball court. Our kickball, dodgeball, hide and go seek, everything. Those were the days kids played outside. We made up games. But yes, I had a lot of laughs. Back over to Muddy. I can't leave out how the best part of my childhood was with my cousin Taylor and Renee Anthony also. We still laugh about those times as well. Especially listening to Tina Turner songs rolling on their blue record player. If you didn't have that blue record player as a child, you wasn't living. And their house used to be the house where Aunt Let and Uncle Perry would buy board games. Or we were outside playing red light, green light, Simon Says, anything dealing with outside. Our stomachs used to be sore from sliding on that wet slip and slide. We used to have fun on that thing. My aunt could cook too. I used to love spending the night at their house. Aunt Let was a real wife. She cooked breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night snacks. I used to love eating hot dogs and buns with cheese and fries before I went to bed. That was the life. My Aunt Let and Uncle Perry belonged to Horn Grove Church on a road called Deer Creek. They would pick me and my other cousins every Sunday. We had children and youth Sunday school every Sunday. I got on the morning bank revival at Horn Grove, and I was baptized as well. I got the Holy Ghost at a very young age, thanks to my mother. Back then, when we went to revival, we used to have to repeat, Lord have mercy, over and over and over until you caught the Holy Ghost, until you shouted. I suppose the first lady at the time at Horn Grove Church felt sorry for me, because as you said, Lord have mercy, you crying, snot bubbles coming out your nose. I probably been up there a few days because the revival lasted 1 week, and you weren't coming off until you received the Holy Ghost. So the first lady sat me down in the choir stand with the other children that had already got off the morning bank. My mother, who didn't play, came and got me out that choir stand and put me back on the morning bench, which was the front row seat of the church, until I caught the Holy Ghost. I don't remember what day I received it, but God is real. He was with me before life and after. But my mother didn't play. She was the type of grandmother that didn't have to say anything. She would look at you and you knew to get in line. She used to take me to school with her sometimes when she teaches. So I'm going to end part 2 right there. Because, yeah, I don't want to make them too long. But that's part 2. Hopefully in part 3, I keep up a little better, y'all. Thank you.